oh my God, Wicked, Rent, Frozen, and now she's got this new single out. And I believe she's officially now a friend of show.
Yeah. Oh,
she's
I think
been on a few times.
Yeah.
We get so excited. Huge fans. Idina Menzel. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for calling me friend of show.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like I'm a friend of show.
Well, we're honored that you.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here.
Honored that you would do us even once, much less. Multiple times.
I know. We were trying to figure out maybe 4 times. I don't know.
Unknown.
I'm moving in. You didn't know that I'm moving in.
Please,
love it.
So you're coming to us from, I guess it's the SiriusXM studio in New York. How is it there?
Yeah, New York City.
Yeah.
It's beautiful here. You have very good lighting.
Do we?
I know. I'm like,
pretty good. It makes my nose look a little something. I should have shaded it.
You look like a beam of light, and I say that in a positive way. Just like a beautiful beam of light.
Much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, congratulations, Idina, on the new single. As you saw, as we were, playing it, you just can't help but actually move to it.
It's a dance banger.
It's a banger. It has all, as Molly would say, it has all the bops. And it's from an album that is coming out on August 18th called Drama Queen. And I want to ask you about the album and stuff, but let's start with Move, which is out. Anybody can go grab it right now. Obviously, the first thing you hear is the beat and all of that, and you start dancing to it. But I've now listened to it a few times, and I really listened to the lyrics, and it's so much about just dance like nobody's watching. Who cares? And I love that message to it.
It's definitely for me. It's kind of has a double message. It's definitely that, and it's also like move out of my way. You've been putting me in your shadow for too long, and so a lot of the album is kind of about that, like really stepping into your own spotlight. For me, that might be a metaphor of the stage, and because I'm known from coming from the stage, but we all sort of need our own stage and our own spotlight.
Well, I'm curious, like, what led you to this kind of music or dance?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? But that's what I like about Idina Menzel is when I saw, a new single out, and I thought, hit play. And then I was like, a dance track. It could have been anything. So what led you more sort of leaning towards this genre?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to do music that I love, that I think is really fun, that I wasn't overthinking about music that was going to groove, that people would get up and dance to. Then I realized, okay, so disco and dance music really lends itself to big melodic singers. So like Donna Summer and even Barbra Streisand back in the day had her dance music, or disco album.
By the way, that Annie, Get Your Gun. Who was the old timey Ethel Merman?
Yes.
She had a disco album.
No, she did.
No, she did.
Okay, well, I wasn't inspired by that one, but as much as she's she's amazing. That's not what I was going for. I did not go back and listen to that one, but
well.
or like Cher, when she came out later with Believe and all that. So, and I think that kind of music really lends itself to those big voices and still having a really contemporary beat underneath. So that was the thing, because I knew I wanted to make a contemporary album, but I didn't want to change who I was, and that's kind of why it's called Drama Queen. I know I am theatrical in the best way. I'm trying to put a positive spin on the word, sort of like diva gets, a negative connotation. And it's like, these are all the many moods and sides of who I am, which make me really cool and an interesting person, and passionate about what I do. And so I just kind of, I wanted people to feel that way also about themselves as well. And also I am a queen in my mind, but also in many of the roles that I've played. So it's sort of just like, embracing all of that. And then there's the fact that it is coming out during Pride, and that it's definitely sort of a love letter and a thank you to the queer community for just kind of teaching me how to be a better human being, and always through their courage and for leading authentic lives.
It is interesting how from the very beginning of your career, and that has to do with that has to do with some of the content that you've created, some of the things that you've been in. But the gay community, the queer community, has really embraced you from the very, very beginning. And it is so interesting how certain artists, are embraced and others aren't. Why do you think for you were embraced by them? And I also love that you're kind of giving back to that now, and you're doing so many Pride events, which we'll get into in a minute.
This is one of those questions I always get asked, and I'm never quite sure how to answer.
So it's not an original question? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not, but it's a good question, and yet I'm never quite sure how to answer it. I've actually asked some of my gay friends when they ask me, what do you think, why is it that you resonate with the queer community? And my friends say to tell them, it's because I'm fierce. I'm not afraid to be who I am, and I sing my ass off. But I
think that's as good an answer as any.
Yeah.
But deep down, obviously, I got my start with Rent, and which was the first show to show real love and all kinds of relationships, and I think it's one of the first shows to do that. And then like Elphaba and Elsa are these beautiful characters that really are kind of alienated for being who they are, and take a risk, and when they really allow their true power to come out. So I'm sure there's a connection there, but I don't. I guess I just want to make sure as I go through and talk about this album that that there's the recognition that I have learned so much from them. It's not like what I've done for them. It's what they've done, what they've done for me. They've taught me how I want to be, how I want to live, how I don't want to make compromises and in my life.
I am obsessed with the fact that Nile Rodgers makes an appearance on this album. I'm obsessed with Nile Rodgers. If people don't know, I mean, he's made like over $1 billion worth of music because he's the go-to guy, bass player, producer, has done, like, name a pop song, he was involved with it.
When he comes into the studio, does money just fall out of his pockets?
Seriously. Is he just made out of Grammys and gold? But like the nicest guy ever also. So what is his role?
I had met him a couple times. We'd worked together on certain shows we had to do. He was music directing me. And then honestly, my husband knew that I had that relationship with him. And when my husband knew I wanted to do this kind of music, he was the one who said, you should call Nile. I was like, no, he's too busy, blah, blah, blah. He's like, don't you be like that. Call him. So I called him. And of course, he was incredibly supportive of the whole idea, wanted to work on it with me. I asked him to sort of mentor me on the whole album. And then I went to the studio with him. We just had the greatest time. He has just got a different way of working, and he thinks about sort of big picture with everything that he does. And he also just really wanted me to just really be true to who I was and to sing my ass off.
What was, when you were a kid, what kind of music, like when you were in high school, Idina, what kind of music did you listen to? Was it a lot of dance? Was it all show tunes, or was it kind of everything?
It wasn't show tunes. Show tunes were a little when I was younger, and I kind of wanted to be Annie and Peter Pan, and I went to see Dreamgirls in my life.
I want to see you play Annie. I want to see you play anything.
Yeah.
Tear those songs up.
But then I started doing weddings and bar mitzvahs when I was literally 15 or 16 years old. I was driving around illegally in Long Island and showing up and dressing like I was, a 30-year-old woman in my mom's sequin gowns and making a living. And so then I was introduced to, because in order to be a good club date singer, we call them, you have to know a lot of kinds of music, all kinds of genres. So I learned Motown and the jazz standards and then all the pop dance hits of the day. And so then I really, sort of my education in music, and I wanted to write my own music. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration and the kind of singers that I was listening to. Like I loved Shaka Khan and Rufus, or I loved all of Whitney's songs and Madonna and everything like that.
I'm obsessed with the fact that you were just driving around Long Island illegally. That is
Yeah, but there's like a
incredible.
junior, I don't know what they have now, but they had a thing called a junior license where you were allowed at 15 or 16 to drive around before 9 p.m., something like that. So I just pushed it a little bit.
But it reminds me from the documentary that's up on Disney Plus, where your mom said that she knew that you were, talented and going to be a star when you were like 6 years old. And your dad said something like, "Oh, I knew when she was in company." No, wait, no. I knew when she was in the womb trying to
well, he has to just compete with my mother.
To compete with your mom. I always think about that.
Because he knows deep down he was, and my dad and I are so close, and he's so proud of me. But back then he was more of the one that was nervous about the choice I was making to go after this dream of performing. So he used to be like, maybe you should minor in business or, so that's why when I say mom believed in me, it's like I'm triggering something. And
Idina, by the way, it's called Which Way to the Stage, the documentary.
Yes.
I wanted to
I
wanted to remind everybody about it, and it's up on Disney Plus, and it really is about I don't know what was the period of time that it chronicled in your life?
Well, it was the year. It was a couple. Well, actually, it's 1 month where I was on the road.
Just
and
1
it was
month,
all
right?
Leading to Madison Square Garden. It was before COVID. I don't know what year.
I think it was 2018.
Yeah,
that was the year. I couldn't remember the amount of time.
Yeah. So having grown up in Long Island to aspire to play at Madison Square Garden, that's like the pinnacle of success, So knowing I was going to be there, I wanted to document it, and then along the way, realized, this is going to be less of a documentary about Madison Square Garden and more of a documentary about what a crazy, chaotic life I have as a mom, trying to, be on tour and also get back and forth to be with her child and be a good parent, and to try to have a baby at the time, late IVF, all of that. So that's what it ended up being about.
It's so good. I also, you're so honest about loving attention and being a performer, but also so honest about the insecurities and how a security guard not knowing who you are just ruins your day. I mean, all of those things are so identifiable, and people don't talk about that stuff, but everybody has it.
Well, it's not like a security guard going into like the Gap. It was going into the Forum where I was performing.
Yes.
I was the one that was going to be on stage.
Your name was literally on the sign.
Know who I was. Okay.
Wasn't it also like I think it was maybe also like the IVF doctor was like, "You're a singer, right?" Or something. He's like,
no, he didn't even know that. I said I'm playing at Madison Square Garden, and he goes, "Oh, what are you playing?" or something. I was like, "It's me,
my voice."
Like, "Oh, what's your band?" I'm like, "It's me."
Idina, we wanted to play because literally nobody finishes a song like Idina Menzel, so we wanted to play some of like our favorites. It's very predictable. Let's do Defying Gravity.
Ooh.
What was it like when you're doing the show 8 times a week? What was it like leading up to that moment? Because I would assume that's a thing that even as you're performing, the show, you've got to psych yourself up for.
Bring the energy.
And even during the song, you're psyching yourself up for that last
And that's only halfway through the show. There's like 4 other songs in the second act. That's just the discipline of working in the theater. And to be honest, all my peers do so well. We know how to pace ourselves, and we go to bed after a show, and we just have to take care of our instrument. And also, I feel like if you're not sick and you're not coming down with something, you can get better and better and stronger by the end of the week. It's kind of like, when you're running or you're working out, how you start to, if you do it right, you don't overdo it, you start to like get stronger and you can run further. Like when you're running for a marathon, you start to do a couple miles at a time. And then, so I feel like I'm stronger. My range is bigger when I'm doing 8 shows a week. It's when, if you ask me to sing tomorrow and I haven't really been singing a lot, it would be harder for me in a way.
When you were doing the cast recording for it though, were you like, okay.
Tired?
Yeah. No, I was going to say like, you're like, okay, let's do it after the 8th show. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to like rip through it.
No. So that I'm completely contradicting what I just said. Because then on the day off, your voice is like, this is my day off. It kind of knows, you know how like you get sick after you come back from vacation or on vacation, your body knows you can relax after you work so hard.
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't like that. Definitely didn't like that.
Can we listen to the big finish of Let It Go?
Yes.
You can, but that doesn't fit. That does the Cold Never Body. You know what the bigger finish is? Into the Unknown. Remember? Do you have that?
Oh, yeah, we don't.
We didn't pull that one. But...
Oh, we didn't pull it.
Yeah, go ahead. Then there's a big note. Yeah.
Well, wait.
Fine,
Let's do
that
then let's do The Wizard and I. Is that a better big finish? Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
I thought so. Let's listen to The Wizard and I. Holy moly.
We're having the best time ever. And I'm just watching Idina over there just like, kill me.
It's hard. It's not kill me. It's just, it's not kill me. I'm so proud and it makes me think of so many amazing things. I just also hard on myself. I hear it and
oh God.
Oh my goodness.
So
but yeah, it's hard for me to listen to myself. That's all. But it also is really I'm getting to the place now in my career where these things, they mean so much to me. And I just see how they sort of changed and informed who I am and all the people and the kids and the moms and dads who I've grown up with through these shows, that have kids now. Just, all of that is very emotional lately for me. There's been a lot of that.
When you were in the first like previews of Wicked, even like early in the run, that I remember being in the theater and listening to you do it, during a preview. And it was my discovery of Idina Menzel. And it was also, I was so bowled over by that song, which comes really early in the show. We haven't really heard you do your thing before that. And did you feel that energy from the audience? Like just leaning towards you and being so appreciative of what they were listening to?
Yes. If I cleared all the noise out of my head, I probably could hear the positive noise from the audience. It depends on the day. We're all like, we all got our shit. But yes, I certainly could feel it at the end. Most days I'm really good, and back then as well, probably from my Rent days, understanding what it means, knowing how to really try to stay present and appreciate how lucky you are when things start to hit in the business for you. And so I really was good during that time, especially because Ren happened and then I sort of fell off for a while, got dropped from my record label. So then when Wicked was happening again, I was just so grateful. And I also knew that song is kind of like, that's the big I Want song in a Broadway show where like you come down and you're going to have that moment and show everybody where your character's been and where she wants to go. And it's just, I took it in. I could really take it in.
Well, I was actually curious because when I watched Tick, Tick, Boom, which was on Netflix about, Jonathan Larson, it like got me that, even though it's not really about Rent, but it got me back to like re-listening to the Rent cast soundtrack, and going back through it all. And I'm so curious for you if that was like, an emotional upbringing again of like this story of his life and everything else and like how special he was. And you got that time with him. Yes.
What I really loved about that film was it may not have been about Rent, but you can hear all of his influences.
Totally.
And it was life imitating art and yes. And it was also a way to just see him again through Andrew Garfield's eyes. And so, yes, it was very emotional. That whole time was just, you can ask any of us in the cast. It was a very significant time in all of our lives and how we chose to lead our lives, I think, as artists and performers and our work ethic and all that.
God, enlightening in a bottle.
Oh my God. Seriously,
just unbelievable. Truly. Anyway, Idina Menzel, next time you come, now that you're friend of show, next time you come, we will not make you listen to yourself as much.
It's okay. I'm
Maybe
proud.
Maybe a little bit.
It's a dual thing. I'm very proud, and the older I'm getting, the more proud I get, and I'm able to be more objective. It just, we're hard on ourselves. That's all.
Everybody go get Move, which is Idina's single that's out now. And I
still hit some really long notes, some really high acrobatic notes. even though it's dance music. I promise you.
It's dance music, and I promise you will dance. You can't help but dance to this. And the whole album, Drama Queen, is going to be out August 18th. In the meantime, June 20th, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and then there are going to be Pride performances that Idina's doing in L.A., in Washington, D.C., in St. Louis, and other cities. So
I'm going to go all over the world. We're going to hit
that.
the city. Yeah, we're going to go to London and a bunch of other cities that are coming in.
That is great. Idina Menzel, thank you so much for being here. Love
having you again. Thank you both for having me. Thank you for making me friend of show.
It's great to see you. Thank you for being a friend of the show.